जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा श्रीला प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा श्रीला प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा 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 जय गुरुदेवा
गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा
जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा
गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा
कि जयो जयो गौरचंदेर आरतिक शोभा ओ जयो गौरचंदेर आरतिक शोभा कि जयो जयो गौरचंदेर आरतिक शोभा गौरचंदेर आरतिक शोभा जानावी ताटवाने जग मानलो जानावी ताटवाने जग मानलो
जग मनलो
की बदाखी नैनी ताय चान बामे गदाधारा
की बदखी
काटे अद्वैदाशिनी वास छत्रधारा
निकटे अद्वैत श्रीनी वास छत्रधारा
शिव बोशी याचे गौराचान रत्न सिंहासने
किव बोशी अचे गौरचान रत्न सिंहासने
आरती कोरे ना ब्रह्मा आदि देवा गाने
आरती कोरे न ब्रह्मा आदि देव गाने
शिवनर हरि आदि कोरी चामर दुलाया
किवनर आदि कोरी चमर दुलाया
संजया मुकुंद बाशु घोष आदि गाया
संजया मुकुंद बाशु घोषादि गाया
शिव शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला
बाजे घंट बाजे बाजे करताला
माधुर मृदंगा बाजे परम रसाला
माधुरा मृदंग बाजे परम रसाला
शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
शंख बाजे घंट बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
शंख बाजे घंट बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
शंख बाजे घंट बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
माधुर 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 बाजे
गौरंगेरारतिक शोभा जग जन माना लोबा
गौरंगे आरतिक शोभा जग जन मान लोभा
गौरंगेरारतिक शोभा जग जन माना लोबा
गौरंगे आरतिक शोभा जग जन मान लोभा
जग जन माना लोबा
जग जन मान लोभा
जग जन माना लोबा
जग जन मान लोभा
जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय
जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय
जय गौरानिताय 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 जय गौरानिताय
गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय
ओ जय गौरा चंदेर गौरा चंदेर गौरा चंदेर जय गौरा चंदेर
गौरा चंदे गौरा चंदे गौरा चंदे जय गौरा चंदे
ओ जय गौरा चंदेर जय गौरा चंदेर जय गौरा चंदेर जय गौरा चंदेर
जय गौरा चंदे जय गौरा चंदे जय गौरा चंदे जय गौरा चंदे
कि बबहू कोटि चंद्रजीनी पदन उज्ज्वला
कि बहु कोटि चंद्रजीनी वदन उज्ज्वला
कि बबहू कोटि चंद्रजीनी वदन उज्ज्वला
कि बहु कोटि चंद्रजीनी मदन उज्ज्वला
गला देसे बना माला कोरे जलमाला
गल देशे वनमाला कोरे जलमाला
शिव शिवा शुका नारदा प्रेमे
शुक नारदा प्रेमे गदगादा
भक्ति विनोदा देखे गौरा रसंपादा
भक्ति विनोद देखे गौरा रसंपादा
भक्ति विनोदा देखे गौरा रसंपादा
भक्ति विनोद देखे गौरा रसंपादा
की बजयो जयो गौरा चंदे आरती शोभा
की बजयो जयो गौर चंदे आरती शोभा
जानावी ताटावाने जग मन लोभा
जानवी तटवाणी जग मन लोभा
जानावी ताटावाने जग मन लोभा
जानवी तटवाणी जग मन लोभा
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद श्री चैतन्य चंद्र गौर भक्त वृंद
गौर भक्त वृंद 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 गौर भक्त वृंद
श्री अद्वैत चंद्र जय 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 गौर भक्त वृंद
निताय गौरंग बोलो निताय गौरंग
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 निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग बोलो बोलो
गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग
निताय 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 गौरंग जय गौर हरि
निताय गौरंग जय गौर हरि
जय सचिनंदन जय सचिनंदन
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 जय सचिनंदन गौर हरि
जय सचिनंदन गौर हरि
जय सचिनंदन गौर हरि
जय सचिनंदन गौर हरि
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो बोलो बोलो
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल 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 बोलो
गोविंद बोलो हरि हरि गोपाल बोलो
राधे राधे बोलो कृष्णा कृष्णा बोलो
राधे राधे बोलो कृष्णा कृष्णा बोलो
कृष्णा 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 बोलो गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद 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 बोलो
राधे 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 बोलो कृष्णा कृष्णा बोलो
राधे राधे बोलो कृष्णा कृष्णा बोलो
कृष्णा कृष्णा बोलो राधे राधे बोलो बोलो बोलो
कृष्णा बोलो राधे राधे बोलो
कृष्णा कृष्णा बोलो राधे राधे बोलो
कृष्णा कृष्णा बोलो राधे राधे बोलो
राधे राधे बोलो कृष्णा कृष्णा बोलो
राधे राधे बोलो कृष्णा कृष्णा बोलो
बोलो राधा रमन हरि राधा रमन हरि राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे बोलो बोलो
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे हरे
राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे बोलो बोलो
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे हरे
राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे बोलो बोलो
कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
ओ हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। बोलो बोलो।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे
जोर से बोलो।
राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
ओ हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे
हरे
हरे।
कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे। बोलो बोलो। हरे कृष्णा
कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
ओ हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल, निताय गौरा हरि बोल
निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल, निताय गौरा हरि बोल।
जय राधा नील माधव श्री राधे।
जय राधा नील माधव श्री राधे।
ओ जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
ओ जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे।
जय राधे जय राधे
जय राधे जय श्री राधे। Everyone please bow down. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परहंस परिव्रजाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतरथ श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन गेस्ट ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परहंस परिव्रजाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतरथ
श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, नामाचार्य श्री हरदास ठाकुर की, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपा गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की, वृंदावन धाम की, मायापुर धाम की, जगन्नाथपुर धाम की, गंगा माई जमुना माई की, तुलसी देवी भक्ति वेद की, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की, बोल प्रेमानंदे, ऑल ग्रेस्टर assembled, ऑल ग्रेस्टर assembled, ऑल ग्रेस्टर assembled, ऑल ग्रेस्टर श्री गुरु गौरंग, ऑल ग्रेस्टर जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। नमस्ते नरसिंहाय,
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय,
प्रहलाद लाददायिने,
प्रहलाद लाददायिने,
हिरण्यकशिपुर्वक्षः,
हिरण्यकशिपुर्वक्षः,
शीलटङ्कानकालाये,
शीलटङ्कानकालाये,
इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह,
इदो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह,
यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह,
यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह,
बहिर्नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह,
बहिर्नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह, नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये,
तव करकमलावरे नाखाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गां ललिता हिरण्यकशिपो तनुभृङ्गां केशवदीशा नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे।
तव कर कमलवरे नाथा अद्भुत शृङ्गार ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गां केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे।
जय केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे।
जय केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे।
जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव,
जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव,
जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज,
जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज, प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज,
जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमा जय सुदर्शन चक्र,
जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमा जय सुदर्शन चक्र,
जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान,
जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान,
जय प्रभु Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva.
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva.
Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.
Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.
बोल प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। श्री विघ्नहर्ता नरसिंहदेव भगवान की, भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की, शिला प्रभुपाद की, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की। बोल प्रेमानंदे। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. We will do mantra meditation. So very quietly and very, very slowly. So please follow the tune and please sing along. We'll do it very slowly, very quietly, with lot of focus, attention, sincerity, and devotion. So Maharaj is here, we will have a class instead of the mantra meditation.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Make it louder. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody chant a little bit. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Jai. So thank you all very much for coming tonight. And tonight we're going to hear from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, and text number 22. And you can repeat after me. 1 second. We'll say the Sanskrit first, and then we'll read the verse in English. Na prahishyeta priyam prapya no dvijet prapya cha priyam stira budhir asammudo brahmavid brahmani stita. A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant, nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the science of God, is already situated in transcendence. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And you can repeat after me. The symptoms of the self-realized person are given herein. The first symptom is that he is not illusioned by the false identification of the body with his true self. He knows perfectly well that he is not this body, but is the fragmental portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is therefore not joyful in achieving something, nor does he lament in losing anything which is related to his body. This steadiness of mind is called stira buddhi, or self-intelligence. He is therefore never bewildered by mistaking the gross body for the soul, nor does he accept the body as permanent and discard the existence of the soul. This knowledge elevates him to the station of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. He thus knows his constitutional position perfectly well without falsely trying to become one with the Supreme in all respects. This is called Brahman realization with the Supreme in all respects. I'm sorry. This is called Brahman realization or self-realization. Such steady consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. Okay, so the verse says, we already read it, but we'll read it again. A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant, nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the science of God, is already situated in transcendence. So these are the symptoms of a self-realized person. We should all try to become a self-realized person in this lifetime. And what is it? Becoming a self-realized person. The first symptom is that one is not illusioned by the false identification of the body. Everybody makes that mistake. We identify with this body as ourself, but actually, we were never this body. Why? Because the body is always changing. Just like we see a little boy running around like this, and 10 years from now, his body will be different. 20 years from now, it'll be even more different, right? 50 years from now, it'll be different again. So you cannot say, I am this body. Then otherwise, I can ask you the question, which body are you talking about? The one you had when you were a child, or a teenager, or an adult, or a middle-aged person, or an old-age person, etc. So the first thing we have to learn in spiritual life, and the most important thing also, is I am not this body. But everybody in the world identifies with the body. That's why there's so many problems in the world, right? So some people say, I am white. Another person says, I am black. Another person says, I'm American. And another person says, I'm Japanese. And so on and so on. All those are bodily identifications. And as long as we identify ourselves as the body, we will never become Krishna conscious. We'll never be able to understand who we really are. Therefore, if someone asks you, do you know who you are? And if you say yes, then they can say, well, can you tell me who you are? And you say, well, my name is John, this or that. I live in this apartment, and I was born in this kind of a family. Those are all false statements. Now you can say, well, how can you say they're false statements? Well, because that's not who you actually are. You're not the body, you're not the house, you're not the car, you're not anything related to the body, the material body. All right, then tell me who I am. You are the soul that's animating the body with consciousness. Now, where did that soul come from? Well, the soul is part and parcel of God, of Krishna. We are all the children of God. We have all come from Krishna. We were all originally with Krishna, but due to limited free will, which means you have two choices. That's why it's called limited free will. Either you accept Krishna as the eternal Supreme Personality of Godhead and engage in his service, or you reject Krishna. Those are the only two real decisions that we make in life. Either we accept Krishna or we reject Krishna. Both ways, of course, Krishna knows what's going to happen to you. But the better way, obviously, is to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we are part and parcel of Krishna. That means that Krishna is the father of all living entities. We have a material father, yes, and mother, but our eternal father is Krishna. So most people never come to these conclusions. If you say, you know who you are? They'll say, yeah, I know who I am. I say, who are you? Then they'll give you a name. They'll give you an address. They'll give you a card. One time, one man came up to me and said, do you know who I am? I said, no, I don't know who you are. He says, you sure you don't know who I am? I said, yeah, I'm sure. I never met you before. So he gave me a card. And on the card it said, Rosicrucian spiritual organization certifies that so-and-so is God. He had a card like that. So I was very stunned when I heard that. And he showed me the card. He was verified by the Rosicrucian movement to be God. Right? So I asked him a question. I said, do you know how you became God? He said, yeah, I know how I became God. I said, how did you become God? He said, well, I became a vegan. And then I smoked some marijuana. And then I was exercising a lot. And I became God. I said, well, now I know you are a fake. First of all, God doesn't become God. God is God. He has never been not God. Let's put it like that. You don't become God. Either you are God or you're not God. Secondly, if you can do those little things that you said, that's not going to even bring you close to God. So, the first thing we have to learn, and maybe it's even the hardest lesson in life, is I'm not God. I'm simply the eternal servant of God. Now, every one of us is a servant. The father serves the child. The child serves the parents. The mother serves her husband. The mother serves her child. The father goes to work. He serves the owner of the company. All of us serve the United States government if we pay our taxes, and so forth. So everyone is a servant. Now, some people want to be served, but our real position is to be a servant. But when we decide to serve Krishna, then we become a real person, because that's our eternal situation, to be the eternal servant of Krishna. That's something we have to learn. We can't understand it by some kind of intuition. We have to be actually educated. Educated to know who is the best person to serve in our life, because we're all going to serve someone. And if you have no one to serve, then you buy a dog or a cat or a cow and you serve the cat or the dog. But we are not clear about what is our real position. we are all servants. If we try to become the served, like become the CEO, or become the king, or become the head person that everybody follows, that's a false position. And we'll fall into difficulties due to false ego and jealousy and anger and so forth. But if we understand that we're the eternal servant of Krishna, and we begin to get educated in what that means. First of all, we have to accept that we're all servants. Secondly, who is the best person to serve? Krishna or God. How do you actually serve God? You begin by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now, you're not only serving God by chanting His holy names, you're also glorifying God. Krishna loves to hear His name chanted by a genuine devotee. This Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the recommended mantra in this age of Kali Yuga, the worst age in the history of the world. And it is recommended that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and eating only Krishna prasadam, food, vegetarian food that's been offered, prepared and offered with love and devotion to Krishna, and then Krishna offers it back to you as his prasadam. So now there are two things: chant Hare Krishna, eat only prasadam. And the third thing is associate with genuine devotees who always chant Hare Krishna and eat only prasadam. Now you're on the path of becoming a genuine devotee. Now, why does it say genuine devotee? Because you're actually developing every day more and more knowledge of who Krishna is and how to please Krishna. Our real purpose in life is to serve Krishna with love and devotion. Then we learn to love. You don't learn to love by reading a book or watching a movie, but you can learn to love God by chanting the holy names of the Lord and associating with genuine devotees and engaging in the service of the Lord. That's when we begin to develop love and devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Okay, so today's verse says, this is the 5th chapter and verse number 20, and you can repeat after me. A person who neither rejoices, right, upon achieving something pleasant, nor laments, everyone can repeat, upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the science of God, is already situated in transcendence. And Srila Prabhupada writes in an explanation of this verse, and you can repeat, the symptoms of the self-realized person are given herein. The first symptom is that he is not illusioned by the false identification of the body with his true self. He knows perfectly well that he is not this body, but is the fragmental portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is therefore not joyful in achieving something, nor does he lament in losing anything. which is related to his body. The steadiness of mind is called stira buddhi, or self-intelligence. He therefore never, he is therefore never bewildered by making the gross body, by mistaking the gross body for the soul. Nor does he accept the body as permanent and discard the existence of the soul. This knowledge elevates him to the station of knowing the complete science of the absolute truth, namely Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. He thus knows his constitutional position perfectly well, without falsely trying to become one with the Supreme in all respects. This is called Brahman realization, or self-realization. Such steady consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. So, this is a very interesting verse, very simple to understand. That is, that you can't understand who yourself until you come to the realization that you have to understand yourself in relationship with Krishna. People learn who they are through relationships. When that most significant relationship is God or Krishna, then they learn who they really are, and that identity of being the servant of the Lord is eternal. If you have other concepts of yourself in relationship with mundane people, you'll never know who you are. And you'll never attain immortality. But if you develop a genuine relationship with Krishna, and we have Krishna here, we have the deities, you see how beautiful they are, and you can keep them in your mind, and you can pray to them, you can bow down to them, you can feed them, you can receive knowledge from them. So the deity is to help us understand our relationship with God. Now, if you go to a Baha'i temple or a Muslim temple, there's no deity. There's nothing. You go in there, you look around, it's an empty room. So, what are you going to meditate on? You see? Oh, you can meditate on the name of Allah, maybe. But when you come to the temple, the most, let's say, impelling thing that you see are the deities. They're beautiful, very nicely dressed, very nice, like smiles on her face. And there's reciprocation. When you see the deity, when you bow down first to the deities and then you see them, you become peaceful in mind, and you are able to get some understanding of who God is. Now, if you come regularly to the temple and regularly bow down in front of the deities and hear lectures, as you're doing now, then you will gradually become a genuine devotee. What does it mean to be a genuine devotee? That means you can never forget Krishna, not even for a moment. Now you've become a genuine devotee. So there's so many things that catch our attention and takes our mind away from Krishna. But when you regularly come to the temple and regularly chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then your mind will not wander away from Krishna. It'll always be focused on Krishna, and because of that, Krishna takes a special interest in you. If Krishna takes a special interest in you, then you have no more problems in life. Therefore, it says in this verse today in the purport, the symptoms of a self-realized person are given herein. The first symptom is that he or she is not illusioned by the false identification of the body with his true self. He knows perfectly well that he is not this body, but is the fragmental portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now that's a major statement. What does it mean, a fragmental portion? That means we've all come from God. That is our real genesis. We were all part and parcel of God, and due to limited free will, we decided to separate ourselves from God, but you can never really completely separate yourself from God. We are the part because we belong to God. He is the person who's maintaining us. How are you breathing at night when you sleep? How are you digesting food? How are you doing anything? It all depends on the help of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I remember when the first astronaut was supposedly going to the moon, and there were some problems with the rocket ship, and the people that were, in other words, keeping track of the rocket, they asked people around the world to pray for the astronauts because they were in a very precarious position. They could easily die. Now, why would they say, please, if you can say a prayer for the astronauts? Well, because they were helpless. The astronauts were helpless, and the people that are trying to guide the astronauts from the Earth, they were also helpless. So their only, let's say, recourse was pray. Sometimes we are all put into a position like that, where we don't see any way that we can be happy, or we don't see any way that we can get ourselves out of a bad situation. What do? Well, if you have good sense, you start praying. Now, when you pray, a prayer is not, please God, give me this, give me that. That's not a prayer. A real prayer is you begin to glorify the Lord and his transcendental qualities. But to do that, you have to have some knowledge. Just like Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, he says in the 11th chapter, he says, 1 second, Tam adideva purusha puranas tvam asya vishwasya param nidinam vetasya vedyam cha param chadama tvaya ratam vishwam ananta rupam. He says, O Krishna, you are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge above the material modes. O timeless form, this whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. Now you're a real devotee because you're able to glorify the qualities of the Lord. And this is a real prayer. A real prayer is not, oh God, give me this, give me that. That's called gimme prayers. But that's not a real prayer. A prayer is glorifying the qualities of God. Just like in this verse, in chapter 11, verse number 38, we're glorifying the qualities of God. And also it says, Vair Yama Agnir Varuna Sasanka. So it's another verse, chapter 11, verse 39. O Krishna, you are air, and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times, and again, and yet again. Okay, so in the explanation of this verse, it says, the Lord is addressed here as air because the air is the most important representation of all the demigods, being all pervasive. Arjuna also addresses Krishna as the great grandfather because he is the father of Brahma, the first living creature in this universe. And then Arjuna continues, obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all-pervading, and thus you are everything. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, out of loving ecstasy for Krishna, his friend Arjuna is offering his respects from all sides. He is accepting that he is the master of all potencies and all prowess, and far superior to all the great warriors assembled on the battlefield. It is said in the Vishnu Purana, Yo yam tavagato deva samipam devata gana satvam eva jagat shrasta yata sarva gato bhavan. Whoever comes before you, Krishna, being he a demigod, is created by you. Be he a demigod, is created by you. O Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in other words, everyone is the servant of Krishna. The demigods also are servants of Krishna. So therefore, it continues. Thinking of you, so Arjuna is speaking to Krishna. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we were relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O fallible ones, O Krishna, please excuse me for all those offenses. So when Arjuna really understood that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead, especially after Krishna revealed his universal form to Arjuna, then Arjuna began to understand who Krishna really is, and he's apologizing here because he was able to have an intimate relationship with the Lord, right? But then he realized, wait a minute, he's a Supreme Personality Godhead. I can't be buddy-buddy with him. I have to be very, very careful how I relate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he says that he said, I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone, and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, Krishna, please excuse me for all those offenses. And Srila Prabhupada explains this verse. He says, although Krishna is manifested before Arjuna in his universal form, Arjuna remembers his friendly relationship with Krishna and is therefore asking pardon and requesting Krishna to excuse him for the many informal gestures which arise out of friendship. He is admitting that formerly he did not know that Krishna could assume such a universal form, although Krishna explained it as his intimate friend. Arjuna did not know how many times he may have dishonored Krishna by addressing him, "O my friend, O Krishna, O Yadava," etc., without acknowledging his opulence. But Krishna is so kind and merciful that in spite of such opulence, he played with Arjuna as a friend. Such is the transcendental loving reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord. The relationship between the living entity and Krishna is fixed eternally. It cannot be forgotten. As we can see from the behavior of Arjuna, although Arjuna has seen the opulence in the universal form, he cannot forget his friendly relationship with Krishna. Okay. So at one point, Arjuna did ask Krishna, can you show me your universal form? Why did he ask him that question? Because some people were doubting that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because he seemed to be acting like a regular human being. But then, to help people in general understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna asked Krishna, please show me your supreme form as the, what do you call the Virat Rupa. Virat Rupa is the gigantic form of God, and in which one can see the entire creation in this gigantic form. And it's bewildering to a human being to see such a thing. Right? So Arjuna wasn't really interested in seeing the universal form of the Lord. He did it so that in the future, if anyone dared to claim that they are God, they should be able to show the universal form. You see. So if you meet someone and they say, I am God, you say, well, in the Bhagavad Gita it explains that Arjuna asked Krishna to show his universal form. And I can ask you, if you claim to be God, show me the universal form. He might say, well, you have to surrender to me first. You'll say, okay, I have complete faith that you might be God, but can you do what Krishna did to Arjuna, show his universal form? If he says no, then you know he's just a bluffer. Now, no one can be equal to or greater than Krishna. So, by reading Bhagavad Gita, we can not be cheated by phony people who claim to be God. So, it says here, although Krishna is manifested before Arjuna in his universal form, Arjuna remembers his friendly relationship with Krishna and is therefore asking pardon and requesting Krishna to excuse him for the many informal gestures which arise out of friendship. He is admitting that formerly he did not know that Krishna could assume such a universal form, although Krishna explained it to him as his intimate friend. Arjuna did not know how many times he may have dishonored Krishna by addressing him, "O my friend, O Krishna, O Yadava." without acknowledging his opulence. But Krishna is so kind and merciful that in spite of such opulence, he played with Arjuna as a friend. Such is the transcendental loving reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord. The relationship between the living entity and Krishna is fixed eternally. It cannot be forgotten, as we can see from the behavior of Arjuna. Although Arjuna has seen the opulence in the universal form, he cannot forget his friendly relationship with Krishna. This confirms that we can have a personal relationship with God, with Krishna, and in different forms, such as a servant, such as a friend, such as a a lover, etc. So there are different ways that we can associate with Krishna intimately by giving up our desire to engage in sense gratification and taking up serious devotional service, beginning by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By chanting this mantra, you come directly in contact with Krishna. And by continuing to chant, you begin to have a daily relationship with Krishna. Eventually, you can never forget Krishna. He becomes part of you because Krishna is the closest person to us. He's in our heart. So no one else is closer to us than Krishna. And the way to realize that closeness with Krishna is by chanting his holy names and hearing his pastimes, transcendental pastimes. So that when you come to the temple, you hear Krishna's names being chanted. You hear about Krishna and his relationship with Arjuna and other personalities. You see the form of the Lord on the altar. So you're doing something here that you will never see outside. You're seeing who the Supreme Personality Godhead is. You're hearing about the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is something unique, and we shouldn't take it for granted. We should realize it's a great benediction to come to the temple, bow down before the deity, see how beautiful the deities are decorated, and understand that the deity is non-different than Krishna. So now you're in the association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Are there any questions anyone would like to ask about what was said or was not said? Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So Krishna showed his universal form to Duryodhana also, but Duryodhana couldn't understand what could be. God was in front of him, but still he was not able to believe him.
Well, when Jesus appeared, a lot of people saw him, but they didn't recognize him as the Son of God. You see. And they crucified him. They nailed him on a cross and put a spear into his ribs until he died.
But Krishna showed the universal form, not as a human, not a normal human form. So, but
yes, he did that, and it scared most people.
yeah, and Duryodhana also got scared, but he couldn't.
Of course.
He couldn't realize.
And then Arjuna asked Krishna, "Go back to your original form. My mind is getting disturbed by seeing you in this gigantic form of the universe." Yeah. So, Krishna is appearing just like an ordinary boy, right? And people are bewildered by it. They think, well, how can he be God? There was this one lady that came to the temple, and I showed her a picture of baby Krishna. And she said, I can't believe this. I can't believe that this little kid is God. I said, well, he does grow up also. She said, yeah, but even that, I can't believe it. Well, why would she say such a thing? Because she was a meat eater. She was skeptical about everything. And on top of all that, she was frustrated. Right? So with all those negative attitudes, it was difficult for her to understand who God is. Therefore, you have to be very patient. You have to come to the temple regularly. You have to hear Bhagavad Gita spoken by genuine devotees. Bhagavad Gita is Krishna explaining who he is. So there's no book like this where God is explaining who he is. You can read books where some people claim to know something about God, and they make some explanation. But if you want to know actually who God is, you have to read Bhagavad Gita, because he's explaining himself who he is. And by hearing Arjuna's realization of Krishna, because he's actually seeing him, right? Seeing is believing for many people. Well, we should believe what Arjuna understands about Krishna. In fact, he says, you are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation. This is chapter 11, verse number 43 in Bhagavad Gita. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation, of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is equal to you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power? And the explanation of this verse is the following. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is worshipable as a father is worshipable for his son. He is the spiritual master because he originally gave the Vedic instructions to Brahma, and presently he is instructing Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Therefore, he is the original spiritual master. And any bona fide spiritual master at the present moment must be a descendant in the line of disciplic succession stemming from Krishna. Without being a representative of Krishna, one cannot be a teacher or spiritual master of transcendental subject matter. The Lord is being paid obeisances in all respects. He is of immeasurable greatness. No one can be greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, because no one is equal to or higher than Krishna within any manifestation, spiritual or material. Everyone is below him. No one can excel him. This is stated in the Svetasvatara Upanishad 6.8. Natasya karyam karanam chavidyate, natat samas chabyadikas chadrishyate. The Supreme Lord Krishna has senses and a body like the ordinary man, but for him there is no difference between his senses, his body, his mind, and himself. Foolish persons who do not perfectly know Krishna say that Krishna is different from his soul, mind, heart, and everything else. Krishna is absolute. Therefore, his activities and potencies are supreme. It is also stated that although he does not have senses like ours, he can perform all sensory activities Therefore, his senses are neither imperfect nor limited. No one can be greater than him. No one can be equal to him, and everyone is lower than him. The knowledge, strength, and activities of the Supreme Personality are all transcendental, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvata tyakpadeham punarjanma naiti mam eti su Arjuna. Whoever knows Krishna's transcendental body, activities, and perfection, after quitting this body, returns to Krishna or the spiritual world and does not come back again to this miserable world. Therefore, one should know that Krishna's activities are different from others. The best policy is to follow the principles of Krishna that will make one perfect. It is also stated that there is no one who is master of Krishna. Everyone is his servant. The Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila 5.142 confirms, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arasava Britya. Only Krishna is God, and everyone else is his servant. Everyone is complying with his order. There is no one who can deny his order. Everyone is acting according to his direction, being under his superintendence. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, he is the cause of all causes. So this is all knowledge about Krishna. You want to know about Krishna, you have to read Bhagavad Gita. Then you will know who he really is. And you'll become educated. And if you're educated, you can explain who Krishna is to others. So all we have to do is simply repeat what we have read in Bhagavad Gita without changing anything. Then you become a guru because you're giving bona fide knowledge to another person. You want to give bona fide knowledge to another person, simply read Bhagavad Gita to them and discuss the purports of Srila Prabhupada. You don't have to imagine anything, you don't have to invent anything, you don't have to speculate. You simply repeat what Prabhupada has written in the purports and what the verses are. Then you won't make any mistake. So any questions? Any questions that anyone might have? You got another question?
Yeah, I was thinking some people are not satisfied with the knowledge. They always think that there is something beyond what is said in the Bhagavad Gita. Why it happens like?
Well, if they can't tell you what that something is beyond what's in Bhagavad Gita, then you know that they're nonsense. They don't know what they're talking about. Let them say something that's more profound than what's in the Bhagavad Gita. They won't be able to do it. First of all, they haven't even read the Bhagavad Gita, so they don't know what's in there. But if they know something that's not in the Bhagavad Gita, let them say it. It won't be there. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj Tanvats. Maharaj, what would you say is the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita? If somebody has to understand, there are so many shlokas we memorize, so many we read and hear. But at the end of the day, what are the few things that we should follow in our life which are in line with the Bhagavad Gita teachings?
The whole, let's say, purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to help us develop love and devotion to Krishna. If you develop love and devotion to Krishna, you have read the Bhagavad Gita. And if you don't, even though you read Bhagavad Gita, if you don't come to the point of loving Krishna, then you haven't really read it. So love and devotion, those are the two things that are the fruit of reading Bhagavad Gita. But actually, better than reading Bhagavad Gita, you should hear Bhagavad Gita spoken by genuine devotees. Then you'll be able to understand how to love Krishna without coming to the point of loving Krishna and being devoted to Krishna with devotional service. You haven't really read Bhagavad Gita. The whole point of it is to love Krishna and engage in devotional service, to serve Krishna with love and devotion.
Thank you. Maharaj, when we taking shelter of Krishna, how is that how is it different from love and devotion? Is it a part of love and devotion? When there are difficulties in life, when there are challenges, right? So many times it is said that we should take shelter and difficulty.
Well, taking shelter of Krishna is with the help of the bona fide spiritual master. If you say, well, I want to do it on my own, it's going to be very difficult. You need the help of a bona fide spiritual master to take shelter of Krishna. Taking shelter of Krishna means you're going to be able to remember Krishna 24 hours a day. Now you have taken shelter of Krishna. Well, how are you going to do that? You're going to have the help of a bona fide spiritual master to always keep your mind on that straight and narrow path of remembering Krishna 24 hours a day. Now you might say, well, how can I remember 24 hours a day? Well, when it's time to go to sleep at night, you make a decision to wake up early in the morning so you can chant Hare Krishna. That means 24 hours a day, because your main thought is to always chant the names of the Lord, hear about the Lord, eat food that's been offered to the Lord, prasadam, and engage in devotional service, etc. So that's the life of a devotee, a genuine devotee. Now you can still be a father or a mother, you can still have children and so forth, but your real thought, your real activity, your real vocation is to serve Krishna with love and devotion. Now, when you actually have that love and devotion for Krishna, then you can share it with others. You start with your own family. So a family that prays together stays together. So if you come as a family to the temple, you sit down together and you chant Hare Krishna, you bow down before the deities, you hear a lecture about Krishna, you have nice prasadam, you sing some mantras about Krishna and so forth. So now you are purifying yourself. And that's why it says here, let me just read this. Arjuna is speaking to Krishna here, right? And he's glorifying him. Jai Shri Krishna Bhagavan Ki Jai. Haribol, Haribol. So Arjuna is glorifying Krishna. Now, if you ever want to pray, you don't have to make anything up. You know, like the Christians, when they pray, you know, they hold hands and somebody says something, you know. But you want to pray, you have to read the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And I'm reading the 44th text of the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And Arjuna says to Krishna, Tasmat pranamya pranidaya kayam, and so forth. You are the Supreme Lord, to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a wife the familiarity of her partner, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done. purport to this verse is Arjuna's devotee. Arjuna's devotees relate to Krishna in various relationships. One might treat Krishna's devotees relate to Krishna in various relationships. One might treat Krishna as a son, or one might treat Krishna as a husband, as a friend, or as a master. Krishna and Arjuna are related in friendship. As the father tolerates, or the husband or the master tolerates, so Krishna tolerates. So in this verse, it's 11th chapter, verse number 44, Arjuna is saying to Krishna, you are the Supreme Lord, to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a wife the familiarity of her partner, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done to you. And this is, let's say, a deep realization Arjuna has. Now, we're in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has already revealed to Arjuna that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And now Arjuna is praying to Krishna to excuse him for being too familiar with him. See? Why? Well, Arjuna had a relationship of friendship with Krishna, so he was somewhat intimate with him. But when he realized that he's a Supreme Personality of Godhead, he apologized, because just like you would apologize also, being very intimate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, if you go to the spiritual world, the gopis there, who are the greatest, let's say, servants of Krishna, they don't know that he's God, and they don't want to know that he's God. If they know that he's God, they won't be able to serve him intimately, you see. So they don't care that if Krishna is God. All they care is that they love Krishna. Right? And because of that love, they're intimate with Krishna in many different ways. So here also, in this verse, it says, one second, go back to it. Now Arjuna is speaking to Krishna. You are the Supreme Lord, to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a wife the familiarity of a partner, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done to you. So, when Arjuna realizes that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, now he's apologizing to him that he became too intimate. Sometimes dangling his feet in the air with his head on the lap of Krishna, and talking and joking and playing, leapfrog and all these different things with Krishna. Those are all intimate things, right? And now he's realizing, wait a minute, Krishna's Supreme Personality of Godhead. All those types of intimate things, they're like not what you would consider the proper way to associate with God, right? So in order to be intimate with Krishna, you have to forget he's God. So Arjuna, once he realized that this friend of his that he was playing with and enjoying life with is God, now he apologized to Krishna for being so intimate. So you see how The relationship with Krishna, there's different relationships. You can be the servant of the Lord. You can be the friend of the Lord. You can be the lover of the Lord. So there's different types of ways. You can be the parent of the Lord also. These are different ways of associating with the Lord. So Arjuna, without realizing who Krishna was, meaning the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was a friend. And he engaged intimately with him, in playful things like playing leapfrog or playing, getting on Krishna's shoulders and then having a fight with two other devotees, right? All that Arjuna is regretting because now he understands who Krishna is. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that type of behavior would be inappropriate, right? You're not going to go up on an altar and jump on the back of the deity, right? That would be very inappropriate. But here Arjuna realizes, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that intimacy is broken. And he realizes that he may have committed some offenses. And he's saying here, as a father tolerates the impudence of a son, a friend, the impertinence of a friend, or a wife, the familiarity of a partner, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done to you, O Krishna. So, Krishna's devotees relate to Krishna in various relationships. One might treat Krishna as a son. One might treat Krishna as a husband, as a friend, or as a master. Krishna and Arjuna are related in friendship. As the father tolerates, or the husband or the master tolerates, so Krishna tolerates. Tolerates the fact that Arjuna wants to jump on his back, and play games, right? But he tolerated that because Arjuna did that out of his love. Right? Now we see what a great person Krishna is, that he will sometimes take a subordinate position to his devotee out of love. Right? So we should hear these things. Now you're understanding who God actually is. He's not this person that's, up on a very high pedestal and you can't really relate to him in an intimate way. No. Krishna likes to be intimately related with his devotee. Okay, any other questions?
Hare Maharaj, so we have conscience, right? That conscience is actually the voice of God, or how can we think that our conscience is right, but sometimes it goes wrong.
Well, let's say there was a man. He went to sleep, and then right before he woke up, he had a dream. You only dream either while you're going to sleep or as you're coming out of sleep. In deep sleep, you don't dream. So when he was coming out of his sleep, he had a dream. And in the dream, a voice spoke to him and said, go down to the kitchen, get the biggest and sharpest knife, go upstairs where your wife is sleeping and kill her. And he woke up and said, oh my God. I just got I got a direct order to kill my wife. So he got scared, he didn't know what to do. So he went to a devotee and said, look, I just had a dream. It was very real, and I'm supposed to kill my wife. What should I do? So the devotee said, chant Hare Krishna until that nonsense leaves your mind. Because some dreams are real and some dreams are, let's call them exaggerations, unnecessary exaggerations.
But Maharaj, conscience is it is always there when we are awake, like what to do and what not to do. But sometimes we do as per our conscience, and it will go wrong. That's why, like it's
Well,
a
that's why you should come regularly to the temple and
no.
hear lectures, ask
so-
questions as you're doing now, so that that type of very, let's say, very confused decision doesn't enter your mind. So if you come to the temple, the question you should ask yourself always before you act is this something that is positive and something that Krishna will accept? And if it's not, then you shouldn't do it. And if you're not sure, then you should ask a more advanced devotee before you act. So if you have a dream where you think someone is telling you to go and stab your wife to death, right? Before you do that, come and ask a devotee, I had this dream, this is what it said, it seems really real to me, what should I do? The devotee will tell you, well, you should chant until that thought gets out of your mind, because you experienced it in your dream. You see? So then you should chant Hare Krishna until that thought goes away. When we sleep, we can imagine anything, right? So the way to get out, to get rid of those negative thoughts and illusory thoughts is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And get the help of a genuine devotee, right? And then you realize, wait a minute, that was some crazy dream I had. I'm not going to do that. Sometimes people, they stab their wife to death, and they get her in jail, and he comes in front of the judge, and the judge says, why did you do this? He said, a voice spoke to me. Well, is that a validation of what he did? He said, I heard a voice, and it told me.
Maharaj, when that person is very God conscious, then he will think that it is that voice is God's voice.
Wait a minute now. Krishna will never tell you to kill your wife.
Not to kill the wife, but some other things. Like, for example, we take books for book distribution, thinking that that somebody will buy that book, but nobody may not buy it. But
that's all right. You tried your best.
Yeah.
And you'll go the next day, and the next day, 5 people will buy books from you. You see, so you shouldn't, it shouldn't be a negative. You should be positive. Yeah, sometimes nobody will buy a book. Okay, you tried your best, but the next day, maybe 5 or 10 people will buy books from you. So you don't give up just because on one day nobody bought a book. You see my point? But because one day you couldn't sell any books, you say, well, I give up now. No, that's not the right attitude. You try your best. It's not that you try your best to not do it. You want to try your best to do it. And some days you might not be able to sell a book. Okay, so what? There's another day always. Okay?
Yes, Maharaj.
Never give up. That's the point. Never give up. Always depend on the mercy of Krishna. Hari Bol. Any other questions? Oh, okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes, Prabhu.
So Maharaj, regarding the verse 5.5 that you have read.
5.5. Let's look that up here.
In the purport, in the beginning of the purport.
5.5, 1 second. Yeah, okay.
So in the beginning of the purport, Maharaj, the line says, the symptoms of the self-realized person are given herein. The first symptom is that he is not illusioned by the false identification of the body with his true self.
Wait a minute. Is that chapter 5,
Yes, Maharaj.
verse 5?
Yes, Maharaj. 5.20, sorry.
You made a mistake.
Yes,
yeah.
I mean, it's a 520. Sorry. Wrong number.
5:20. Okay. 5 point. All right. Go ahead.
In the beginning of the purport, Maharaj, it says the symptoms of the self-realized person
Yeah.
are given herein. The first symptom is that he is not illusioned by the false identification of the body with his true self.
Yes.
So, Maharaj, my question is, in like theoretically, we know like we are not this body, and we are not. We should not identify. We should not do this false identification.
Mm-hmm.
But in some situations, I try to deal like, okay, follow this instruction. But in most of the cases, in day to day, I identify myself as a body and act like that. So how to practice this more and more, like not to identify ourselves as a body when we are acting.
Well, that's why there's prayer. You pray to Krishna. Please help me, my dear Lord, not to identify with this body. Right? You're not saying, please help me make a lot of money. Or, please, let me, go on a vacation or something like that. But if you pray to Krishna, please help me control my mind and senses so I can always remember you. That's a genuine prayer. So does that answer your question? You have to speak to Krishna.
Okay, Maharaj.
Krishna can hear you, and he knows whether you're speaking honestly or you're fiddling around, trying to play games. But the best thing is just keep chanting until you feel peaceful. Right? If you keep chanting, you'll eventually feel very peaceful because you're directly directly associating with Krishna through his holy name. So whenever there's a problem, you just sit down very comfortably and start chanting. And don't chant until your heart beat becomes normal and your mind becomes peaceful. Then you get up and continue your devotional service. Sometimes we become very upset by things, right? So you just sit down and keep chanting until you feel that peace comes over you. Right? Like, for example, sometimes something might be said, or you might hear something that was said about you. And when you hear that, you get really upset, and you get fiery, right? Well, whenever that happens, you sit down tightly somewhere and just start chanting. And keep chanting and keep chanting and keep chanting until that fire goes away and you feel peace again. Right? So sometimes I have been in situations where people say things or they're blasphemous or whatever, and right away I get like fire, right? But then I hold myself back, I sit down, and I chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And I keep chanting until my mind is very peaceful. And I realize I don't have to do anything. Because if this person that is, speaking bad about me, if they're really a bad person, Krishna will take care of them. I'm not the judge and the jury, right? Judge and the, the judge and the jury and the person that kills them, right? I'm just the servant of Krishna, so I'm not going to do anything that is not acceptable by Krishna. Right? So you have to learn to sit down and chant until those type of very nasty feelings go away. And it works. If you do it, it works. Haribol.
Thank you, Maharaj.
You have another question?
So, again, based on the same verse, 520, what happens, Maharaj, when a person rejoices too much or laments too much? What?
You become puffed up, proud, falsely proud. Right? So it says, a person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant, nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the science of God is already situated in transcendence. So, in other words, this is neutrality. You have to learn how to maintain neutrality. You're not disturbed by great, let's say, prosperity, and you're not disturbed by great poverty. You have that equilibrium of mind. You're peaceful in mind. Why? Because every day you're chanting Hare Krishna. Every day you're having prasadam. Every day you're associating with devotees. So you have no reason to get upset.
But there is a tendency to rejoice or to be happy. That so that happiness may have that.
Prabhu, everything in this material world is miserable. When you say, this is good, that's bad, no, everything is bad in the material world. The only thing that's good is you have an opportunity to become Krishna conscious. But everything else is bad. So if you say, oh, this is good, that's not good, no, everything is bad. So there's no reason to rejoice, or there's also no reason to lament. You just remain neutral and continue your service. Look at her cleaning her foot. Haribol. This is her self-hygiene. Whoop. Okay, that means she's ready to go, huh? She's the boss. Okay, Radhika, wait, you're going to go now. All right, so it's 9 o'clock, and we will call it quits for tonight and pick it up 11 hours from now.